Sloss and Humphries on the road.
Muggins and cream and muggins, straight thuggin', living the dream.
That's our intro.
Fucking muggles.
Tickling the clit inside your head that makes you laugh.
I do that all the time, Mark. I feel like my whole life is in the fucking, you know, that gooch of the year. Where
It's like an award. Sounds like an award. The gooch of the year. Kanye's already won this year.
Because I saw you take the piss with them people on social media, the ones that act like they don't know what day it is.
Oh, it's the most annoying thing. Like, it's just like, to put it in context, it happens around about Christmas. Is that like you call the gooch period? Aye. The period between basically Boxing Day and Hogmanay, New Year's Eve, and people always going, oh God, if you had a gun to my head, I couldn't tell you what day of the year or what day of the week it is. And you're going, you're typing this on a phone, it tells you in the front of it, you stupid cunt. Like, it's stop trying to fucking create this maniac fucking crazy lifestyle we have.
Oh, I'm mad, mate. I'm absolutely mad. I don't know how my head works. So we just done that. We're just like, it's Monday, isn't it? And you were like, it's Monday. And then I was about to start the podcast. So
yeah.
Into it, and then, like, just before we press record, like, it's fucking Thursday. I just live in a perpetual state of a muggle June gooch.
Yeah. It's because we don't have... Well, you'll have less of a structured life than me. Especially when you're not on tour, because... You've
got the school... Actually, tour is a bit more... it's harder to gauge on tour because it's weekendless. It's like every day is like it's an event. Even the people that are on Tuesday filling a venue, it's an event.
I suppose you're just going by dates as well. You're not going by the days. So
yeah, so I get a lot more discombobulated then, but now that I'm just back in the clubs, they kind of operate on weekends.
Yeah,
and then I'm back home when my wife's at work during the week.
Yeah,
So I can differentiate easier between the weekend and the midweek.
Aye.
I can, but like days of the week just blend into one. There's not like a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They've got an real difference. But I was at the Glasgow stand this weekend, just gone, and I had a real fucking moment where life come at me fast. Where do you know Thomas Elgin?
Thomas Elvin. Big lad, aye.
Scottish comic. He's on doing the short spot at the stand. He's class. He's fucking. He was banging on that spot, right? And he walked in on the second night. So I gigged with him on the first night. The second night he walks in, and he just does a big stretch. And when he's stretching, he goes, "By the power of Grayskull," right? And I went, "And how the fuck do you know the power of Grayskull?" Right? And I was just like, "How do you know He-Man?"
Aye.
And he just went, "Oh, my mum loves it."
Oh no! Oh Jesus!
Oh mate, it was just like you could just see the bullet hitting my chest and that just spread against the wall.
Fucking hell!
It hit us like gunfire because it doesn't seem like that long ago at all since I was with Tom Stade and he asked me if I knew Rush. And
the band, yeah.
And I was like, "Oh, my dad loves Rush," and I watched I watched the bullet hit Tom.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that fucking bullet fire came back real fucking quick.
Yeah. There's a hell of a difference between your dad and Tom liking Rush, though. Why the fuck does his mum like He-Man? Like, it's such a bizarre fandom to have.
Because my dad still plays Rush around the house. It's not like my generation just still periodically put He-Man on.
Yeah, aye. And his mum, was she constantly get He-Man on in the house? My sister's called Battle Cat after
green and yellow cat waxing with a saddle on. Oko's running around doing chores around the house. Oko, it was Oko, wasn't it?
Oko's that the wee
like wizard
furry thing? Yeah.
Fairy? You're thinking of Snarf. I'm thinking
of Snarf, aye.
Which is actually like the fucking they were drawing parallels with each other with that, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were like, oh, we need a little fuckwit that's gonna kick around.
Yeah. Because Mum Ra was Thundercats.
Mum Ra was the Skeletor. Fucking hell, they're the same show.
They're the same show, yeah. They're exactly the same show.
Panthros Man at Arms.
Yeah, it's exactly the same show.
Wait, no. Wait, what a fucking rip-off. Which one was first? I'm going to say He-Man was first.
He-Man, I'm fairly certain He-Man was first.
And then somebody was like, yeah, I've got a belter idea. He-Man with cats. Here is it. He-Man with cats. Instead of Orko, we'll have Snarf. Man at Arms is going to be a panther. Not the panther as you think of it. Bald and grey.
Yeah.
You know, like nothing like a panther. You know, nothing. You know the panther, the black sleek animals. Yeah. Not like that.
Yeah.
Grey, spiky shoulder pads. Nothing like a panther. Why did we never query the fact that Panthro wasn't a panther?
Yeah, that's true. Aye.
Panthro was at best. He was one of them like kind of Egyptian cats that have got.
Yeah, what's the ones we know? Aye, what are they called? Not
Sphinx.
Is it Sphinx cats?
Something like that.
Aye.
They've probably got like a more sophisticated name. But I think we just got an Sphinx cat.
Aye.
The ones that look like ornaments.
They're weird, those things.
Marlena had two. Remember that?
Yeah.
Our agent had two of these Sphinx cats, and they used to just cut about the house like they were haunting the place.
Because you can't stroke them. Because you're just stroking skin.
You can, but it's like stroking a bald head.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can stroke them, but it's like using an 8-ball.
Yeah. Weird looking fucking things. I think they were gonna make a He-Man, because they did make a He-Man film with Dolph Lundgren. It was He-Man.
So they did.
It was going to be Schwarzenegger though.
I felt like it was a sci-fi. What, did it have spaceships in that?
Yeah,
and it was on
it was fairly. But was He-Man not quite sci-fi?
I can't mind.
My lack of knowledge, it was He-Man's. I thought it was a lot stronger than that.
Because I'm nothing like Thomas Elephant's man. Like, I left it in the past. I didn't still wheel it out, you know. I've got guests around. Come on, what's He-Man?
Because she must have used that expression in the house at some point.
Oh, the same way. The same way my mum would have went, "Give me strength."
Yeah.
Give me strength. She was like,
by
the power of Grayskull, will you two stop fighting?
Oh, it's funny, man.
Aye.
How were the gigs? Were they good?
Class.
Aye.
Really good. A couple of chatterboxes, but no offensive. You know, like I remember seeing Nick Revel do a line before where I couldn't tell if it was his line or if it was he was using stock. Mm-hmm. But I haven't seen it enough. I haven't seen it like since to know that it was stock. So I credited Nick Revel, but it might be stock. Where he said to somebody, "You're just enjoying yourself too much." It's like, it's not that they were like they were interfering, you know, when they respond to stuff like he's like, it's hard to put you down because you're just enjoying yourself, but you're enjoying yourself too much. It's like, you know, if I was to have a shit in a public swimming pool, I'd really enjoy it, but everybody else would have to get out.
Yeah, that's nice.
And I thought it was a fucking belter line.
Yeah, that is good.
And it was that level of like, it was this lassie in the front row that was with her daughter, and her name was Terry, and I had a bit about pedo Terry that used to live on my estate. You heard us do that bit? No. It's fairly new. It's a new bit. I'll tell you the bit. It's a bit where I talk about the word estate is a different word depending on
your class.
On your class, right? So if I said to a posh person, I started hanging around with some lads on the other side of the estate. Mm-hmm. They'd be like, "Oh, well, you're hunting guinea fowl. I heard it's abundant this season. You've got land." And I'm like, "No, mate, I've been pelting eggs at pedo Terry's kitchen window." and then I you know what's actually funny about this joke, right? The only thing that's a joke about it is I've changed his name from Jerry.
To protect the innocent.
To protect him, because I didn't think he was a pedo. That's where the joke ends. When I look back on my childhood, we called him that, but I didn't think he was. And I've got more on that. I've got more on why we called him it, which I'll not hear. Fuck you all episodes. I'll have to come to me Glasgow Comedy Festival show on the 13th of March for the rest of that joke. But I changed his name to Terry. This last was in the front row. It was called Terry, and she like, it was almost like saying her name activated her.
Yeah.
She was like, "Oh, my name's Terry. I'm part of this show. So it just meant that I had to use the gig was going class for the rest of the audience know. It didn't derail it in any way, but it just meant that you had to be using different gears in your head.
Aye.
You're going through the bit going, right, this might not have the momentum that it needs to get to the end of it, because I'm going to have to put out this little fire that keeps coming up. And if I pour too much on the fire, they take credit for the laughs, that's the thing.
Yeah.
If you can get a big laugh off shutting them up, they're like, look what we did, we got a big laugh.
Yeah, it's a team effort.
Team effort, and they get cocky and they put it in, so there's like that fine line between like putting them down and getting a laugh off them and making them know they're not part of a team. So it was there was a bit of that, but the gigs were lush.
Nice.
Because you didn't get much of that happening for Danny.
No,
in theatres.
You don't get anybody.
Nah.
Do you compare it?
You didn't really get drunks. Like I haven't dealt with drunks in a while.
Fuck, it'll be a different skill.
People will have a drink.
Yeah,
but they're not drunks.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, because I suppose especially even you're going on.
I'm going
the earliest in the show, so
often it's like a 7 o'clock kickoff and that, and I'm on first. So like and these are all. And this is the stand as well, so it's not even a hard one.
Yeah.
These are all skills I developed when I was coming through doing junglers in the hyena. Remember the hyena?
Oh Christ, yeah.
Holy shit! Like that was the bear pit, wasn't it? So you develop them skills, but it was like while I was on, I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna need my old tools."
I know.
Let's get in the van.
I know.
You're measuring up a job. You're like, I didn't bring them tools. Let's just go back again.
Chipping concrete off it just to fucking. I wonder if this still works.
I think you're feeling the weight of it. And I remember this old thing. Like I was good with this. I used to know me way around this.
See, when you're doing gigs in I imagine I know the answer to America, but when you're doing gigs in Europe and stuff, do you notice a difference in the drinking attitudes of the audience?
You know what? Because I've never done club gigs. I've never done club gigs out there. Like,
but even like the tour shows, would tour audiences here drink more than they would?
It's hard
in Latvia and fucking.
It's hard to say. It feels like the Americans are a bit more drunk, but not because they interfere in anything like that. Because
they can't drink. They've had one beer.
You know what? I've got a bit more respect for the Americans drinking now that I know what they constitute as a shot.
Right, because they get free pours.
The free pour, the shots, and you get like a full. Like normally, you would be like, wait, that would also be with a mixer.
Yeah.
They give you like a whereas we have shots, we'll have like a certain measure of a shot, which means that you could go out and you're going, I had fucking 10 shots last night.
Aye.
And it feels like a lot of shots, but if you go to American, I had 10 shots last night, you're like, you absolutely didn't have 10 of them.
Yeah.
I didn't have 10 of them.
I've had 15 pints of vodka.
You're like, you've spunked your load super early with the shots.
Yeah.
so I've got I think it's a myth that they kind of drink because their portion control's wrong.
Aye.
And I mean that goes for everything with America. Your portion control's wrong.
Yeah.
You do everything in abundance.
I'm going to Liverpool this weekend, and every year my brother comes away with me for one weekend. So it's a different city. So pick Liverpool, and it'll be the first time I think that I'll do shots in ages. Because it will be one of those nights where you go,
you didn't normally do shots.
We'll just fucking go for it. Nah, because there's not really. I don't know, because I will take. Sometimes you get audience members will come up and give you a shot after the show, and I'll take them as a courtesy. But on a night out,
you don't want to be rude.
Yeah.
Like, I've got to drive back to Glasgow. It's like a 6.5 hour drive, but I want for the road.
Yeah. The kids are in the car.
It's on fire.
The kids are in the car, and I forgot to crack a window. But
but it is winter.
But I wouldn't normally drink shots on a night out.
But actually, kind of going for it.
Probably will. Aye.
And is your brother a big drinker?
He can be. Aye. We've had some we've done what other cities we've done. We did Cardiff the last time. Just Christmas before pandemic.
That's a shout.
That was a fucking belter.
That's a city where I've lit up the beacon and took friends before. Like where I've went with my Geordie mates. I've been there with Ricketts. I've been there with Matty. Where I'm like, look, lads, I'm at Cardiff this weekend.
It's absolute.
This
class.
is one you're gonna want to jump on. The gig's fucking exceptional.
Aye.
The nightlife's mint.
Aye. It's a different game. It's a different game Cardiff on a night out. Like, it's just, it's fucking feral. Like, it's proper.
Yeah, the people come in from the valleys and that.
Yeah. You can always see them like marauders, just.
And you get absolute fucking steroid junkies in Cardiff as well.
Yeah, you do.
Sometimes look around the barn going, what the fuck? There's Panthro? Panthro's here? I guarantee you can go out on a night out in Cardiff and spot Panthro.
Oh, aye.
Absolutely can. Yeah, like the skinhead with knee, neck, and the fucking hench muscles, like
spiky muscles.
The spiky muscles. I guarantee you're gonna spot them on a night out in Cardiff.
Aye. Oh, there's some absolute beasts.
Aye.
And they're just the women.
The Valley Girls. They'll hit your legs up against the wall. Shag you against the chain link fence. But Liverpool's another one. That's a good night out.
Aye, it should be good.
Working class cities, I noticed the theme.
The theme?
The theme of like where's a good night out. It's
aye.
It's the cities that are a bit more industrial.
Oh, of course, aye. Because folk know how to enjoy themselves. I've got a theory about pavements in different cities, right? Do you know, you see when you're walking along in certain cities and it's been raining and the ground's really, really slippy? Mm-hmm. I've noticed in, like, what would be seen by some as shittier cities, like more working class cities, more drunken cities, it's a lot more slippery than the rest of them.
I've never noticed this, but I'm listening.
Right. Glasgow and Newcastle are two perfect examples, right? You walk along the street, if you get like trainers with very little grip on them, they're fucking all over the place, like Bambi, right? Whereas if you go to a place like Oxford, fucking, you could, honest to God, you could run. Like, you're stuck to the ground. Because
it's like the rubber. It's like the rubber of a racetrack.
I don't know whether it's just...
And then you get to Edinburgh and it's cobbled.
Exactly. I don't know whether it's... I don't know if it's just the lack of facilities. Like, I don't know if they're not cleaned as well because not enough money's been put in it, or if...
Or they make it easy to wash vomit off.
Yeah. What, the streets are laminated?
Or they might make it like, it might be like a police measure if like so people can't make a quick getaway.
Can't run away.
Police have got like special shoes that they wear, little plungers on them, little sticky, like thousands of little tiny little sticky plungers on the bottom of their boots. You can hear them like when they're running. Everyone else jogging on the spot like a Looney Tunes character. Legs just fucking circling around. Trying to outrun the law. And yeah, you're going to go to a Liverpool match as well.
Trying.
You're trying to get.
Yeah, I put out a desperate plea this morning to all Scousers to say
activate the lids from the Have a Word.
The lids, yeah. Because I don't even know. It's been so long since I've been to a Premiership game. I don't even know how easy it is to get tickets for those kind of things.
So Newcastle tickets at the minute, like the fly off the shelf, like it sells you at every game regardless, just because there's a fucking it's buoyant because since Mike Ashley's gone, and especially now we're hitting winning ways. I had to sign up to a membership because I don't have a season ticket, so I didn't get the privileges. But I signed up to a membership, and you get 24-hour early access, and I have to be there at like 10 in the morning when it comes out to like get.
Online,
a couple of tickets sat together. I think that's even going to change where that I'm toying with getting a season ticket, even though because of my job I'll not be able to go to every game, and like
just giving it out to folk.
Sell me ticket on a weekly basis that I can go, just so that I don't have to join a shit fight.
Yeah,
to get a seat for the match. I'm thinking about doing that. Me and my pal.
Definitely.
But I know that I'm gonna get to Wolves on the 8th of April, and I'm gonna have to be 10 o'clock in the morning there on the dot on Tuesday coming.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you've got any Scouse mates who are a member. It might just be as easy as that.
No, I mean I've got a good couple of feelers out now. So my brother's got a couple. He's found a couple of links as well, contacts. But
and ours got reduced to 2 per person.
Aye.
So I can only buy 2 tickets. It's not like I could buy a bunch of them.
Aye.
So like there's 4 we're going, so 2 are going to be there looking for the same block of seats. Like at least getting the same. So we can have a pint together at half time.
We do you remember that buying tickets for concerts, and that was always what you had to do.
I've
Be on at 9 in the morning and fucking...
yeah.
I used to do that at work all the time. Like,
It's a fucking buzz when you get them,
oh,
isn't it?
God, yeah.
Doesn't it feel class? If you like,
Oh, absolute.
Because I've gotten M&M tickets in the past when, like, in the fucking late 2003.
Yeah.
Fucking heat
Yeah,
of his
yeah,
career.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
when I've gotten a hold of them tickets, I've just felt like a fucking god.
Oh, you're the rest of your weeks.
I
Like,
was saying, like, you know, especially when you're younger as well, like, that people's jealousy's currency.
yeah.
And you know it.
Oh,
That's me.
is that you?
That must be me, aye.
Ah, because mine's no.
It's Dean. I'll ring him back. I forgot I had that turned up. I had that turned up from when we were talking to Gav about his belly
How long
button,
ago it was?
his belly button corned beef. I'll get him back. That's one of our many agents.
Yes,
there.
yeah.
Where agents are going through a merger at the minute.
Yeah, we're so popular. We've got 9 fucking agents.
It's like Molly and I passes on to Dean, who passes on to me the details from your flight to Dublin. And
Yeah.
I was thinking about, like, I've just hired a PA. Could you pass them on to her, and then she'll hand them to my wife, and then I'll get them.
Dublin is another class city to take folk to.
I'm going there next weekend, and Ryan Cullen's on the same bill.
Oof.
So
Is he?
ruined?
Are you both staying in the flat?
Aye, which I think is funny because I'm not giving up the bed.
No.
Right? The Dublin flat. Let's talk about the Dublin flat, right? It's got no natural light.
No.
It's fucking slap bang in the city centre, right? So class.
Yeah.
You're right in the middle of the city.
Yeah.
But it's on, if anybody, I shouldn't give away the destination.
no, it's really
right?
not.
But it's down a back alley.
Yeah.
Right.
A proper dodgy.
Proper dodgy as fuck. I've never walked through it and not seen, like, people shooting up.
Yeah.
Like, you walk through and it's got activity in the doorways.
I had a...
No one's bothering you out, but I didn't feel right when we last stayed out.
Aye, no.
I didn't feel okay. I wasn't okay with that.
No.
There was one of the nights where she stayed in the flat and I went to the game.
Aye, it's not...
And I felt deeply uncomfortable.
Aye.
Right? Like, it's prime real estate that you're close to the bars, you get out drinking, you fall back in your flat, you're close to the club, but it's just this, like, little, like, dark corner of Dublin that you don't want to shine a torch on.
I bet it costs a fortune as well.
I bet it costs fucking loads.
I had to phone the police one night one weekend I was in it. I saw a guy getting fucking mugged outside, like directly outside the bedroom window.
Wow.
I heard commotion and I saw a guy just basically getting held up.
Oh,
so
that's a grim experience. You don't want to go out and
phone the Garda.
Yeah.
That couldn't have been any less of a fuck.
Do they have the same number? Or because they're like fucking Americans, different there. So are they 911?
I don't know what they are actually. No, that's Northern Irish. I was going to do that. What's Southern Irish?
That was Wycliffe.
What the hell? 911.
0800 911.
Just call any number. 333.
So yeah, they got through the phone book for the police.
Yeah.
I find like it's quite degrading that they call the police guards there, because you know when like you take the piss of the security guards as like, oh, they wanted to be cops, whereas in they just carry on calling them guards.
Yeah.
In Ireland they're just like, the guards, whatever.
Aye. They carry guns though.
They do them there. Yeah. Overcompensate for being called wardens. Park and wardens.
But you could stick but you shouldn't give up the bed. Because Cullen,
I've got him. I'm going to put him in a little basket in the corner, and when it's time for him to get him, I'm going to play the flute. He's going to pop. He's going to pop. We make one of them dancing sunflowers. The sunflowers that you clap and they start giving it the beans.
Because the size of Cullen, you could literally, you could stick him in the cupboard, like next to this ironing board, and just prop him up. Like he's not gonna.
Next to the boiler. Yeah. I just got open the door in the morning and he's just coiled around a broom shank.
He's shed a skin.
I'm like, oh, fucking, you've laid eggs all over. And some of them are still bubbling out of his neck and landed on the floor. So I mean, Calder in that flat. One time I was in that flat and I went out. I went outside for a smoke and I was shit faced. Did I talk about this recently? I was talking about it with someone recently. I can never remember if I've pressed record. I hate one thing I hate the most is when like we tell the same story twice on the podcast.
Yeah.
Not it doesn't matter if there's years between it, but you know, if it's in quick succession.
Aye.
It's like, ugh. Like we went through a spell there where fucking Danny just kept saying the same shit about Joe Rogan. I might as well have just put it on a button.
Aye.
And now we're gonna have Daniel Sloss as Joe Rogan.
Rogan.
I think, man, we're losing followers. Yeah. But I went outside for a smoke, and you know, when you're hammered and you take a draw of a cigarette and you just heave, I spewed up on my feet. Right, that's where I was. How drunk I was. I spewed up on my feet, and this guy come up and he just fucking asked if I had any spare cigarettes. I was like, I need bother, mate. I'm fucking spew out on my feet. I'm trying to fumble and I give him a cigarette like that. And he's like, oh, cheers, bunny lad. I was like, yeah, have another one. I'll have a couple. I'm not gonna need them. And he just gets on his way, and then I just saw him stop, and he went, yeah, mate, do you want a line? That'll sort you out. I was like, mate, you fucking champion. I'm in this fucking crackhead alley. This guy's come back. I don't know what's in the bag. It was definitely coke.
Yeah.
It was definitely coke. I fucking took a line. I picked right back up. I went back in. Fucking...
Next thing you're sucking him off. Hey, that alley.
I'm like that Dave Chappelle routine when I come back in there. And Natalie's like, how was Dublin? I was like, I was out fucking women.
What's Danny's? Why has Danny got such a beef against Joe Rogan?
I think it was just his fucking misuse of his platform to fucking stir up the right.
Right.
It's like fucking selling out to the QAnon cunts, isn't it? Like, I think it was just that. I mean, you could listen to any episode from circa 6 months ago. Just pick an episode out of like a full 3 month range, and you'll hear all about it. I'm not going to go back over it.
Aye. I've got no beef with him, man.
Nah.
I don't really know much of his work. I get my right wing stuff from a lot of other people. I'm old school right wing. I go to the classics.
You know, it's funny, you know, how you've got these right wing comedians that are just kind of like acting as if they're stepping out, but they're actually like they've got an audience and they know it. There's an audience for right wing out there. You can tell by the way people have voted. Right?
Yeah.
So they're always going against whatever the left are saying. And some of them now are like, just to be contrarians, going like pro-Russia.
That's incredible.
I saw
that. Yeah, I saw it last night. Yeah,
I've seen these fucking like guys that have made a whole they've made the whole identity online being going against what the left are saying, and now like you're too far gone now, mate. You're on the wrong side of the war. You're meant to be a comedian, and now you're on the wrong side of a fucking conflict.
Yeah, I've seen a few pro-Putin things. Like I saw some of them last night talking about how much better it would be if Trump was in charge during all of this.
I like
going, what the guy that was pals with Putin? How the fuck would it be?
You're like, we don't know what side he would have been on.
Yeah,
like, anyone can say.
Yeah,
because I wouldn't be 100% sure that he'd be on his side.
Exactly. Aye, because there's still that. You don't remember that video that existed of Trump when he was in Russia, and he had the prostitutes and they were pissing on him. Like, apparently that video does exist.
It does exist.
So that's the last thing you want. That's pretty much one of the biggest things someone can hold over you.
Aye.
Like a video of you doing something dodgy sexually.
Aye.
You don't want.
I feel like he was at the point in his pomp. He was at the point where a video of him pissing on prostitutes, like. It would have just got him in Sarah Pascoe's book, and his fans would have still loved. You would have had a little paragraph.
Hit the better button. Bitter. I don't think it would be that bad. Like, because I mean, it's not like he's not already hated by people that don't support him anyway. So, like you say, what difference would a video of him being with Russian prostitutes really have made?
He had the support where like nothing's gonna rock this.
Yeah.
The only thing that I believe like knocked him off the top really was like it activated people that were against him that might not have voted. Like I just think like I don't know the vote figures. I'm just speculating here. I don't know. Don't get your news from me. But I feel like people had to go, oh fuck, he's got critical mass here. He's got people. He's got people that'll follow him blindly into war for Russia, alongside Russia, right? So everyone's like, fuck, we've got this mental cunt in charge.
Yeah.
We now need to vote to get him out. And I feel like it was more of an uprising of like fence sitters that outed him, because anybody that sticks by him probably still sticks by him now.
Yeah, exactly. Aye, if you're that much entrenched, then.
Have you heard word of him since?
I saw. He said the other day that Putin was a genius. He does it because he does press conferences now and again.
Does he? Because I've never seen like they've done a really good job of just deplatforming him from any fucking like. I've never seen anything about him on Twitter. I've never seen him come up on any like Facebook videos.
He got
like,
kicked off.
On the telly.
He got kicked off Twitter.
Aye.
But he said there was like a new.
But I still thought like
right wing social media platform that was starting that he was gonna
just
rule.
So he's just got like he's the king of the shit heap somewhere.
Yeah,
in
basically.
The dark corner of the internet.
Aye.
Keep an eye on them though. Keep an eye on them cunts that are in their own little forums. There's enough. There's enough for them to be a problem.
Yeah.
You can't just go out of sight, out of mind.
I don't ignore the weirdos likes because
there's too many weirdos.
Find weirdos and then. Do you see the?
That's how it all started. It with like 4chan and stuff.
Yeah. I listened to a documentary about all that.
Was it the BBC Sounds one?
Yeah, it's fucking amazing.
I listened to that. It shouted out. So
it's called The Coming Storm. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. Do you see the amount of? Did you see that thing in the reported over the weekend in the Ukraine? There was like he was getting called the Ghost of Kiev. He was a fighter pilot that had apparently shot down like 9 Russian MiGs.
I love shit like that, man.
And then it turns out like all the footage was taken from like Call of Duty and shit like that.
Oh,
and fucking like it wasn't real at all.
It wasn't even real. The Ghost of Ukraine was a fucking hoax. Was it just for morale? Just boost the spirits?
It's like...
Because I love shit like that, you know, like the Red Baron.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he was on the opposite side.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
But that mythical, like, that mythical soldier or the mythical pilot.
The guy you can't...
That is just like, you heard about the... Because it's almost like, it gets to the point of, like, Greek mythology.
Yeah.
Like Achilles, like, where there's somebody out
and I mean, even the Ghost of Kiev, it's a cool fucking name, that. Like, if you're known as the Ghost of Kiev, like...
fucking hell. I loved, I went through a little spell of studying World War One, and I loved the little stories, like, there was a guy who was in the trenches for the Allies, right? And what had become was there was this unspoken ceasefire when smoke was coming from the trenches, because that's when you're cooking and having your dinner. So if the smoke coming from your trenches, right, like, you know, like because you're sizzling bacon or whatever, right, the Germans wouldn't shell you, and then it was reciprocated by the Allies. So there was just this, like, they would shoot them when they're eating, let them have that dinner, right? And this had developed over the course of like a patch of the war, this particular part of the trenches, right? And then one of the lads, who must have been fucking suicidal, walked over the trenches, sat down, had dinner with the Germans, and they were like, we can't kill him because then the dinner time ceasefire's over.
Aye. Fucking hell.
So they fucking had dinner with him.
The balls.
And he whacked back hour with a belly full and had his dinner back hour here and that. And whether it's true or not, the fact that story reached books. The story, like, I was reading, I think it was like The Guns of August or something like
that. That's amazing.
Right? But the fact that, like, that story is now in literature, whatever the story spawned from, like, the fucking story that we're telling now came from whatever the fuck happened.
That's class.
And I love shit like that. There was another one where there was this young Scouse lad, right, and there was a soldier on leave, like, he'd been sent back home and he was due to go back out, right, and this young Scouse lad who was, like, 13 years old, and his brother and all his fucking mates were old enough, and they're out fighting in the trenches, and he gets this kid, this actual soldier, drunk in a bar. This 13-year-old gets him fucking mullered, right, takes his fucking shit, his papers and all that, and fucking gets himself all the way out to Germany or Belgium or wherever the fuck he was going, and just walked down the trenches until he found his brother. He fucking sorted his salute to get to war from home as a kid.
Jesus.
Imagine he got sent but like apparently like the fund him and realised he was like too young to be at war and all that and sent him
That's
back.
amazing, man.
But imagine you're just fucking at war and all that and you're with your pals and then you're like, Stish?
Yeah.
The fuck are you doing here, funny lad? 40 you were at school.
Fucking hell, man. I'm fairly certain my grandparents, both my granddads were too young to be.
Well then.
And what was it? Was it 16?
No idea.
Aye.
Probably.
Fairly certain most of them were too young.
Either way, even if it was 16, right? That's kids, that.
Oh, Christ.
You know, I think people, when they think about, like, war heroes and all that, they think of, like, fucking Willem Dafoe, whatever. Like,
exactly,
think of, like, a grizzled old vet,
aye.
right? They didn't think of just, like, scared young'uns.
No.
And you got, when they're like, all these war heroes and all that, like, I bet a lot of them didn't come back feeling like heroes, because I bet a lot of them were actually just curled up in the mud, crying, shitting their pants.
Aye, totally,
And they made it home, and everyone holds them a hero, and they're like, I fucking never even fired a bullet, I was scared and all that. I bet there's a reality, like, obviously, like, the heroes for even just fucking being there, like, you don't need to take that away from them. I'm not trying to take away what happened, but I bet you it wasn't the fucking bite down on the gum shield march forward fucking.
No, it won't be the Hollywood war.
They're not walking around like fucking Mate Laser Quest. They're shit scared because they're gonna die if they get hit, right? And the kids, like, I think the fucking reality of war is fucking cold, man. I bet you a lot of them are coming back and getting their medals and all that, and I just shot myself in the field. I shot me bullets out of the heads of the enemy because I didn't want to kill anyone. There you are, there's your medal. That's why you come back alive.
My son did Laser Quest for the first time last weekend. And you got to pick a name at the start of it. So there's like suggested names you can put in your own names. So there's like there's all them.
The ghost of Dumfries.
There's like there's all the Star Wars names. There's all Iron Man, all that kind of shit. And then there's various all Marvel characters and all that kind of stuff. And I was so tempted to just put Shagger, just to see.
How old is he?
Just to
6
see
years old.
6, just to see fucking. Like, even if it wasn't even close to the top, just for them to read down and go Skywalker, Chewbacca, Shagger, just him standing there.
Oh, you're so funny. Butler didn't do it. What? Right? Okay. If you put that, what kind of trouble do you think you'd be in? What would be the real world ramifications of putting Shagger? I think 6-year-olds.
I think some of the other dads would find it funny. But then it was mostly mums there. And then you're just.
It's deeply inappropriate.
Oh,
that means he's been a victim of a sexual assault. How else could he shag? It's not like he's going around. Even if he shags a woman, then that means he's been assaulted by the woman. That's always a weird. It's always a weird debate, that where if it's a teacher, if it's a male teacher and a 16-year-old lassie at school, that's deeply wrong. Whereas if it's a female teacher and a 16-year-old lad, it's
not so bad.
This hypothetical debate me and Mark are going to have is deeply covered in caveats. Like, we know it's all wrong.
Yes.
It shouldn't be done. It shouldn't be wrong. Right? Just to assume that half of the course. If I was 15 and Mrs. Stevenson decided that she was going to shag me and then buy me an Xbox to keep me quiet, I would murder the snitch who stopped it.
Yeah. Is Missy Stevenson? Was that made up?
Yeah, she was quite a hot teacher.
Oh, right. I didn't know whether you'd changed her name like you did with Pedo Jerry.
She did. She changed it to Mrs. Hall. Fucking cow. I thought Charlie had eyes for me. And she either got married or got put in witness protection. Either way, that means she fucked somebody else. But the teacher, and this is the thing. I think there might be a little bit of there might be a little bit of sexism towards our attitude towards that, which is such a fucking laddish attitude to go. If it happened with a boy, that lad's a fucking gangster. If like the girl's a victim if it's happening to a girl. But I bet you there's a lot of girls that are like 15 that like fucking knew their mind a lot better than boys know their mind.
Christ, aye.
Where the boys, the actual
girls are a hell of a lot more mature.
The boys like the fucking like the one that is more childlike in their ways, and the girl would have like. Like there's probably a lot of sexism in that we find it a difference that we go the boy's a legend and the girl's the victim.
Oh, that's massive sexism. Yeah, and it definitely is wrong. Like neither of us are advocating this. We're just saying there's different attitudes between if it's a female teacher or if it's a male teacher.
And it's true. There is different attitudes.
Yeah,
and there shouldn't be. It's all wrong.
And if it's a male teacher and a male boy, fine, absolutely fine.
They're just having a great time.
Coming from a Catholic school, absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever.
So we'll manoeuvre through that totally fine. We would say,
we're like the ghost of Kiev there.
Military manoeuvre where we're through saying that it was okay to molest a child as long as it's a boy. We're not saying it's okay, deeply living carrots, but we are saying we feel like society views it differently.
Yes.
Which shouldn't. Still. But if it had been me at 15.
Yeah. But then there's also that, it's very much laced in and dressed up in like that kind of American Pie type deal of an older woman seducing a younger... Do you know what I mean? It is that kind of telling your pals you're a fucking legend, whereas in reality it's probably quite horrific.
And you probably like let's unpack it to its reality. You're probably like gonna have like a really jarred view of sex, and you're being accelerated through awkwardly kissing a girl at the school disco. And then fumbling together, both figuring out while you've both still got spots. That the figure out simple stuff. Like when I first fingered a girl, I was expecting the vagina to be on the front, and I ended up like rubbing a hill for a bit before I realised
rubbing her what?
Like the hill, like the mound, the mound.
The pitcher's mound.
The grassy knoll.
I was just going to say exactly the same thing. Fucking hell.
Fumbling the grassy knoll, like you get accelerated past all of that, like you didn't get it going through your fumbling arc of discovery.
You're getting thrown in.
You just get fast tracked by a fucking someone in a position of power that knows exactly what they're doing.
You're getting thrown in with a legend. It's like your first fight being the Undertaker. Oh, fuck it.
That's what I'm doing.
Not prepared for this.
Yeah. And then all your relationships are probably going to be a bit more fucked up after that. So I'm not a psychologist. I'm just saying you're probably getting robbed of a little bit of the innocence of discovery.
Yeah.
If you get molested by a grown adult.
Yeah.
Like I'm new with these ideas. Nobody's even thought of this before.
It's definitely wrong though.
I love that. I think we'll manoeuvre through that minefield, and then I just ran back through it.
Leroy
Jenkins! Like, guy, we got
forgot my keys.
So what else is new? What have you been up to? I was in Glasgow.
I was in Teesside on Thursday night.
Oh, nice.
A place called Stainton.
Stainton.
Aye. Do you know it?
Nah. Sounds like Teesside.
Rough as fuck. It was when I turned up at the venue was in a hotel and it had 2 ambulances outside, and it's never a good sign when the ambulances are already there.
Already at the hotel.
And
you haven't even had a heart attack
yet. It was fucking mental, man. Couple split up while I was on stage.
Oh, nice. Were you complicit? Was it happening around you, or was it happening because of you?
I didn't cause it, but I didn't help.
Ah, nice.
I kind of commentated and goaded it.
Well, if you're going to say it publicly when someone's
the guy was a proper bell end. So, and they also pissed me off by calling me Irish as soon as I went on.
Do you not like that if people call you Irish?
Nah, because it's not. I don't think it's.
It's quite common in Australia for people to mistake me for being Irish because me mum You know, like there's
Oh
certain
yeah,
things
yeah.
give us that. Like I think there's certain things I'm never offended by that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if someone was to like say, "Are you from Birmingham?"
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Fuck off.
Yeah.
So as a Scottish man,
I'm not. I mean, to be honest, I don't care.
Nah.
It's just it's a funny bit at the start because you can immediately play off the fact that they're racist. And like, so they did that, and then I commented on that, and then I think very much like you were saying, the guy at this point had then taken that and run with it and gone, all right, this will be double act we've got going now, and then wouldn't shut the fuck up.
You got a laugh that he thought was his.
Yeah, and then it was a back and forth, and then she started getting mad with him for constantly talking, and then he was a prick to her, and then at one point he fucking slammed his pint down and just stormed out.
Smash it or like
no, just like fucking
just
launched
it.
Yeah.
They don't give people glass and tea. You're mad.
But it was mental, man.
Absolutely. Did she stay?
She stayed, and then it's awkward because she's then on her own, and everyone's going, "How long left is this?" And there was only like 10 minutes left, but it was a long 10 minutes for everybody.
No. I had a lassie storm out in hot water once because I was thinking the bit I did about the lads shouting punching when I'm in the taxi queue and they shout punching to us.
Yeah.
A lassie was like him with her boyfriend, and I leaned in, come under the light, looked at them and went, nah. Because she called us a hot.
Yeah, exactly,
so
no, it's fair game, I
didn't even take a look at her. I was just like, nah.
Yeah.
Like, 'cause that's the funny thing to be. She ended up fucking storming out. I was like, fucking someone fancies that celibate.
I had somebody walk out at a proper commotion as well, complaints and shit afterwards at Hot Water. And I thought it was me, and the staff thought it was me as well. And I was fucking shitting myself because I was like, that's not like the bit I do about there's a bit I do about teaching my son to swim and how I would come up under the water and grab him and like a shark attack, right? And
I
grabbed the wrong kid, and then I only realised, and then I apologised to parents, and the punchline is I couldn't even claim it was a genuine, understandable mistake because my son's got blonde hair and he's not Chinese, right? So that's the joke, right? When I go up, the bouncers and I can't remember who was in charge that night, were kind of going, oh yeah, the folks, I could see commotion fucking storming out. And they were people had left, and they were like, "Oh, it's because of the Chinese bit you do." And I was like, "What Chinese bit?" And they're like, "I end with the swimming." And I was like, "All I said was the word Chinese." Like I had to pick. Yeah. I had to pick something that is so far away because my son is so pale and so blonde haired. I was like, right, let's like so.
It's not racist to say that your son doesn't look Chinese.
Exactly, yeah. So and they were like, yeah, they were Chinese as well. So they were proper furious about it, like complaining. And I was like, right, I'm really sorry. Like I didn't understand. And then I went downstairs for a drink, and then they came down and went, oh no, it wasn't you. Some guys from the behind them were giving them fucking shit for something else. And I was like, oh, well, I mean, I could have walked away tonight thinking I'd committed a fucking hate crime. And all it was the guy behind him had bumped into him and spilt his pint. So they'd been arguing all the way through.
Wouldn't buy him a new one.
And I was like, what the fuck, man?
That's the worst. You don't want to feel like you've hurt anyone in the crowd, especially like that. You know,
no,
like,
God, no. Especially when it's completely like trust me, if I want to offend people, I will. But
I had you know when I used to do the bit with the hat where I was like, I can't wear a hat.
Yeah.
Because it looks like I'm terminally ill. And I like put the hat on, I was terminally ill, right? I'd done that. It was at a ski resort. It was like in Courchevel or something like that. I was out doing taking the piste gigs, and they do like a kind of tour of different resorts. And then this like kind of older British bloke, I can't remember where from, but he just come up and he was just like, good set mate, but different do the cancer joke. Like my friend died of cancer. And it's really inappropriate to do jokes about cancer and all that. And I was just like, Hamid, like, do you think you're the only person that's been affected by cancer?
No, I know.
Is this like a really unique to you situation? Like, you think I've never in my life ever had anything to do, like, it's just been something like completely off the table for me.
Yeah.
Like, to just assume that cancer hasn't affected my life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Like, what
yeah.
the fuck, man? Like, you cannot just take the thing that was like offensive to you there. In fact, it wasn't even offensive. Like, I wasn't making fun of people with cancer.
No, of course you weren't. No, you can't pick and choose what you find acceptable. You either don't like it all, or you can't just go, that's the one thing that's too far for me. You're like, well, fair enough. If it's too far for you, then I'm sorry, but it's not. I'm not going to stop it because there's something that you laughed at a minute ago.
Yeah,
that's too far for someone else.
I remember when I first discovered that was about like people getting offended about their thing.
Yeah.
Was Gary Delaney was on at Punch Drunk 2009 it would have been, so I'd like not long since started and just started running these gigs, and there was a lassie I worked with. She was drunk and all, like, and she just started crying and just kicking off at the back of the room and all that, and there's just this crying lassie. She's like, "You just done a joke about diabetes." And my dad's got diabetes. I was like,
fuck
he
off.
done a joke about blind people. He done a joke about like if you're going to Gary Delaney's like the jokes, and they're quite clearly jokes because they're fucking structured like jokes. There's no room for ambiguity with Gary Delaney's stuff. It's not like he's telling you his opinion and then fucking one of them happens to be a hate crime. Like these are just jokes about different things. And she took umbrage to the diabetes one, and I'm like, I saw you laughing at the jokes about other people's ailments.
Yeah, but because that one's very loosely involved with you, like, it's not like...
your dad's only got 9 toes, doesn't mean you start fucking crying your eyes out about that bitch.
Don't you take the piss out of the left-handed.
To like really laser point the thing that affects you and then get upset about that while throwing your head back, belly laughing at other people's shit is the most fucking egotistical bullshit that I've ever seen, and then it does happen with people in the crowd.
See, I had people talking on the radio about this, and it was after the Jimmy Carr thing, and people going on about how is this offensive, isn't offensive, all this kind of shit, and then basically kind of saying like, I don't think comedy and jokes deserve this amount of scrutiny and this amount of in-depth analysis, because one of the funniest things, right now, whether you like it or not, I do quite find it funny. My kids find it fucking hilarious, as you've been framed, right? People falling off shit and slipping and all that kind of stuff is funny.
Slapstick's funny.
Somebody falling over on the street is fucking hilarious. Like when it's slippery outside, you see somebody going up on their arse. It's hilarious.
Man, I was walking alongside Barry Castanola in Amsterdam, and he fucking disappeared out my eye line. He went down like that, right? He didn't fall, but he managed to stop himself and come back up, right? And we're both looking over our shoulder at the same time, and there's a fucking banana skin there.
Yeah, well, I mean, God almighty,
fucking God, did we die laughing. I was expecting him to step on an upturned rake.
Yeah.
I was like, that's like a fucking cartoon fall you just had while we're chatting.
Yeah, but in those scenarios, someone genuinely does get hurt. Like
actually physically gets
hurt.
Like
when you see, like you see like somebody that's like, there'll be an American backyard, right, and somebody will come and bounce on the trampoline, and the fucking trampoline will give way, and it'll throw him, rather than throwing him into the pool, it'll throw him straight through a fence, right, and the guy's fucking lying there crippled. And
studio laughter, next video.
Everyone's pissing themselves. It's taking the video, the guy that's holding the camera can barely fucking stand, everyone's laughing in the studio, move on, right? There's a good chance that guy's going to hospital for stitches.
That would be funny if just like 10 minutes through you've been framed, right? Like one of the videos, just the studio laughter just dissipates and dies down to nothing. And then the video keeps running, and they can't get him, and like half the fence is impaled through his cough, and he's fucking screaming. And they're calling the paramedics, and they're like wrapping stuff around and trying to stem the bleeding. And we're now like 45 minutes into you've been framed, and half an hour of it's just been this guy like fucking losing blood, and he's getting like IV,
getting his leg amputated because they can't.
Yeah.
But is that acceptable? Like, if you're gonna dig down into humour that much, is it acceptable to watch someone physically hurt themselves and laugh at it, as opposed to someone presenting an idea?
It is funny when you see a slapstick moment in real life, and you'll check before you laugh. You'll like, the laughter will come, and then you'll be like, "Are you all right there, mate?" Like Chris Ferguson, who listens to the podcast, one of my pals. You know Chris?
Yeah, I know Chris. Yeah.
We're walking along, and he fucking slipped on the ice. We're just going to put back on, so the dog slipped on his ice, and he fell, right? The instant reaction is like one of my mates just fell out. I laugh, but like, This is a grown man who's fell over onto the pavement. We're not kids anymore. Like,
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
get back up from
yeah.
that sometimes.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, mate, all right, yeah, I just scuffed my hand, lost a bit of my dignity. I hope you didn't mention on the podcast.
Yeah, fucking tit, Chris.
And then you check his heart rate, and then you're like, bah.
My wife does it. She's got like a proper nervous. Whenever anything, like she got that kind of laugh at a funeral kind of thing because it's such a nerve-wracking experience, and there is the silence and the nervousness. So laughter is the natural kind of thing to do. But she does that whenever you hurt yourself, and see when it's you that's hurt yourself, it's the most annoying fucking thing in the world. I remember one time.
You're trying not to get too serious about it.
Aye.
You're trying not to get, babes, my finger's sore.
Aye, I know. I can't remember what we were doing. We were mucking about something, and we were in our old flat before we had kids, and she fucking, I think we were like throwing different bits of felt or paint or something at each other, and then at one point she just took it too far and grabbed like a can of deodorant and fucking sprayed it in my eyes. Right, so my eyes are like stinging. I'm like a fucking attacker, and I'm going to be like this. And she's pissing herself laughing. And I'm going to have actually lost my sight here, you mad bastard.
What does it say on the bottle if you get it in your eyes?
Yeah.
I'd love to read it myself, but I'm fucking indisposed.
Then she's lighting a match and just fucking...
That laughing at a funeral thing, I was at a funeral on Monday, and a lot of comedians there. It was somebody within the industry, and Elliot Steelgate crashed.
Yeah.
He didn't know anybody, but he was like, a couple of my mates are there. He didn't. He knew the guy as well. And because it's all comedians, and because it's that tension, and because there's so many funny memories and happy memories, like people were having a laugh. But like it was such a weird feeling because like it was that jarring thing of like I'm laughing with these people who I haven't seen. It's fact, you know, sometimes you haven't seen people for 3 years because of the pandemic. Yeah, instant things like, oh yeah, how you doing? How you been? And then it dawns on you like, why is that coming together?
Aye.
And you feel like shit for your reaction, and you're just in this fucking pocket of not knowing how to act.
Aye.
You literally don't know how to act because you're genuinely grieving and feeling sad, and you're genuinely happy to see people lit up by their presence.
Yeah.
And that like fucking just like an occluded front just makes you have this fucking like cauldron of like emotion that you never know how to process, right? But everybody's processing it by just like fucking inappropriately laughing at stuff, cracking the jokes that you shouldn't crack, like just comics being deeply inappropriate. But every time Elliot had a proper from the belly laugh, I ticked him off for it, like quietly. I put it on side. I was like, mate, his parents are here, man. You can't be seeing it. But everyone was doing it. His brothers were doing it. But every time Elliot did it, I was like, Elliot, whoa, Elliot, man.
Bit of respect, Elliot, for fuck's sake.
Respect, man. He's never even another man.
What did Elliot wear? Shell suit.
I told him because he was like, I don't have a suit. And I was like, well, I'm just wearing a black jumper.
Aye.
I'm just wearing a black sweater. Like, just do something like that, right? And then he was like, you wore a black sweater, and he was like, fuck, I've left my black sweater on the tube. And I was, the
only thing that he had.
I was expecting, but he did have a dark shirt underneath that looked like he didn't have one. When I asked him on the WhatsApp, what did you have on underneath it? And he just put an up arrow, the man, and then a down arrow, the legend. Rocking up at a funeral with a man, the legend. Yeah, you know that funeral as well, right? Like I watched because there's so many fucking good speeches. Like his brother, his sister, his best mate, his ma got up and like. His ma crying, talking about losing her baby, like it was the fucking hardest shit to watch, right? But I managed to like stay stoic and like listen to everything without fucking breaking down. And then right at the end, Tim Fitzgerald played the bugle out of tune at the end, right? And because it had like such a comedy element of it fucking knocked me God redoing it, hit us clean in the face. I'd fucking sat through all these emotional speeches from family, and I ended up like fucking hicking in my seat like this. I had a badly tuned bugle. Yeah. And like it's amazing the way shit can hit you.
Aye, totally aye.
And then because the lad, I don't want to be too candid about it all, but the lad was a Liverpool fan, and Andrew Maxwell got up and done a speech, and he was a Liverpool fan, and he talked through the words of "You'll Never Walk Alone,"
Oh,
and like
nice.
fucking so emotional, like, you know, like the words just laid down, and then he was just like, it's so fucking hard to say that without singing it, and then he started like banging the desk, and everybody in the room started singing "You'll Never Walk Alone," and me and Danny were just like, nah.
Love the man, but I'm not gonna fucking
love the man, but nah. No, I'm not singing another football's team's fucking.
It's too far, Maxwell.
It's not what he would have wanted. he had respect for people.
Imagine you just start singing your own songs back.
Aye, we are the Geordies, the Geordie Boot Boys. Oh, your support is fucking shit. I've always
singing "Who's the Pedo in the Black" to the guy conducting the service.
I would love like a fan base to respond to "Your support is fucking shit" with just like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Oh, support is really good.
yeah. We have actually organised ourselves really well.
We'll really get behind the lads. I'm here every week. Sometimes get the bus all the way to the bottom of the country on a away day, even though I've got work in the morning, because they put it midweek for TV coverage and that. And I just like, you know what, I've really put me back into supporting this club. Well, anyway. We've done an hour already, Mark. It flies by sitting here talking to you. It really does.
Right, well, we do.
But that does not stop your dad from getting the truths I'm about to say. Got some dad jokes?
Yep.
Yes.
Right.
Your dad takes poo bags every time he goes for a walk, but he doesn't have a dog. It's for his own shite.
Your dad shaved eggs only into the hair above his arse.
Your dad got a semi watching the school nativity, but he's not a pedo. He just loves sheep.
Yeah, your dad dressed up as Jeremy Clarkson for World Book Day.
The fact my dad's getting dressed up for school for Book Day just to drop the kids off at school.
Suit jacket and t-shirt, pair of blue jeans.
Go on there, Hammy. Go on, James. Your dad eats his soup with a knife and fork.
Your dad won't drive away unless the petrol counter finishes on a multiple of 3.
Another driver one.
Yep.
Your dad always goes out for a drive just so he can wave people out at junctions. But not to be kind, specifically to piss off whoever's behind him.
Yeah. Your dad refuses to shop at the supermarket in case he's mistakenly caught with the paedophile hunters. When your dad
dropped you off at school, he wouldn't stop the car. He'd make you jump out like John McClane.
John McClane? He doesn't jump out of a car.
You Die Hard?
He doesn't jump.
Has he never jumped out of a moving car in any of his movies? Fuck off.
He jukes a hazard or something like
John
that.
John McClane's never jumped out of a moving car in any of the Die Hard movies.
No, definitely.
Shut up.
No, because he's not even in a car in the first one. Nor the second one.
Did he not jump out of a car onto the wing of a Harrier jump jet? Man, I'm fucking astonished if John McClane's never jumped out of a car. That's like, I found it the other day, you know Boba Fett?
Uh-huh.
He only had something like 6 minutes of screen time in the whole trilogy and only said 4 lines.
Yeah.
And he felt like such a massive character.
He's a proper cult character, yeah.
To the point that I had to make a spin-off of him.
Yeah. Right, last one. Your dad did karaoke last night but changed the word of his favourite song to "It's Ukrainian Men."
Ukrainian Men. Your dad rewinds films on Netflix after he's watched them. Yeah, I've got another one. Your dad makes all of his cups of teas at the beginning of the week and microwaves them as he needs them. And that's the podcast. Cheers, Mark.
Cheers.
Plug your show at the...
12th of March, the day before Kai's, Saturday 12th of March, at 5:30, work in progress gig at the Stand.
Class, and then mine's the same venue.
In Glasgow.
The next day. in Glasgow. So and also Elliot Steele, Gareth Waugh and Ryan Cullen all
Yeah.
doing the festival. Go on online,
Yep.
check the listings, come and support your boys. And I think we're gonna have Danny again doing the Monday episode, which is now a Patreon bonus. Enjoy.